I was introduced to drinking and smoking by my father. I used to light the cigarettes for him when I was 10. When I cough, he would tell me, "Where kohoa? Kohoa utakuja kuzoea." And later I got used and I stopped coughing. Every day at 6, my brother had to come with changa, feed me with changa on that mattress. Otherwise, I wouldn't wake up. This time the withdrawals were so severe. If he fails to come, I would just lay there on that mattress, diarrheaing on myself. Active blackout is where you can even club hop from here to Thika and come back and don't even know you went to Thika. It's where you drop everybody else home and go home and don't even know how you got home yourself. But the car is there, it's not scratched, no accident. In fact, hata unachungulia kwa dirisha namna hii to see whether it's there. Because you don't know how you got home. And then your friends are asking you, "Mazee ulifika nyumbani?" Or you call them, "Hey, nanyi muliendaje? Ati sinibali to drop." You feel very foolish. So you go to the cabinet, guilt and shame makes you drink. Start taking the early morning drink. So, and then from there you go to habitual. Habitual stage is where now you start drinking in the morning to stabilize, to function. My name is Ann Mathu. I'm a recovering alcoholic after having abused alcohol for more than 20 years. I was introduced to alcohol drinking by my father when I was about 10 years old. And alcohol has truly messed up my family. I've lost 4 family members to alcoholism. And this is one of the motivating factors that has brought me to go public about alcoholism and drug addiction. I was one time Miss Kenya first runners-up and a model at the same time, but addiction took that all away from me. It messed up my life. At one time I was in Germany. I got married to a German. But then addiction, alcoholism messed up my life. I have so many losses and recovery is possible. My recovery has been uninterrupted. I've not taken any mood-altering substance for the last 19 years. The reason as to why I went public is because I felt that we have a lot of women who are trapped in addiction, and what people do is to shy away from taking them to treatment facilities. One, because addiction is a shame-based disease, and actually the family is more ashamed of the addict than the addict himself or the person with substance use disorders. Denial cuts across the board, from the person with a drinking problem to the family, to the community, county level, and even the national level. But at least now I'm grateful that we have the goodwill of the executive, that now they are supporting us in this campaign against alcohol and drug abuse. But the reason why I went public is for people to know that this is a disease. It is a brain disease. It is a progressive disease. It's not something that starts, that you drink and get addicted the same day. It can take years. And for people to know that we can get out of addiction, that a person with a substance use disorder is only down but not out. With treatment and rehabilitation, we can spring back to life. So it's basically about giving people hope, because any campaign without hope doesn't make sense. We have to give people hope that there is a way out, that there is a solution to this problem. People tend to think that the moment you become addicted, that's the end of you. No, this is a disease. It's a chronic disease. The way you don't shy away from cancer and diabetes and all those other chronic illnesses, let us not shy away from addiction as well. Because these are people who want to come out, but they're not able to. And that's why you find every person with a disorder, with this disorder, we call it SUD, will always say, tomorrow I'll not drink, tomorrow I'll not drink. I want to stop drinking, because that's exactly what they mean, but they are not able to. The following day, actually, the withdrawals are so bad that this person has to drink or drug to stabilize. It gets to a point when it's not the person who makes a decision to drink, it's the body that demands. Because the body has gotten so accustomed to these substances that the body cannot survive without. And actually, withdrawals kill very fast. Withdrawals from alcohol kill faster than any other drug in the world, alcohol being the most commonly abused drug. In active addiction, actually, I thought that my life had come to an end. I felt so useless. I felt I don't measure up to anything. I felt I did not meet my own expectations, family expectations, society expectations, and even God's expectations, even my children's expectations. So I felt a failure. And everybody around me kept on confirming that. Hey, you're a failure. Hey, what a useless mother. You know, you feel it. You already know it, that you're not supposed to be the way you are, and they keep on confirming. And actually, the person who actually even drive people deeper and deeper into addiction are family members and significant others. Why? Because some of them choose not to want to understand. Others truly do not understand that you are a very sick person. Others think it's a choice. Yes, I chose to drink. I did not choose to become an alcoholic. Along the way, it got to a time when I realized I could not stop when I wanted to stop. And this is what drove me to going to crusades, getting born again. In the morning, I would forget that I got saved last night. So I would meet with those wamama of the crusade, and niambia Bwana asifiwe. I say, ujinga ya inaistakagi asubuhi. Don't bring that nonsense to me, because the withdrawals are so much. So what I'm grateful about in my recovery is, one, reconnecting with my children. There was no relationship, parent-child relationship. So my children, my mom had taken away my children when she realized that I'd gone too much into alcoholism, that my children were no longer a priority. So my mom decided to take the children away from me. My last born was taken away from me when she was only 4 years old. And drinking for more than 20-something years. By the time we came to reconnect, she was going to Form 1. And believe you me, it took her 6 years to call me mom, even when I was in sobriety. So I'd lost touch with myself, my children, family members, the society, and even God. Again, another thing I'm proud of is giving my story, the story of giving people hope, and seeing many people actually going in for treatment and coming out as sober people and becoming sobriety champions. So my recovery, because I'm the first woman to have gone public in this country on alcoholism, and I said addiction is shame-based. The first time I appeared on TV, my auntie was the first one to call me to ask me, for how long are you going to shame us? Ulituaibisha wakati ulikuwa unakunywa na saa hii bado unatuaibisha kwa TV. Afadhali wakati ulikuwa unakunywa huku unaonekana sana. Sasa Nation TV inaonekana kila pahali, and you have no shame to go and talk about it. So some of these people, family members, they feel ashamed on our behalf, even in recovery. So I actually told her, no, why I did this is I want to give people hope, for people to realize that you can go to rehabilitation center, get a, especially if they have a well-structured program, come out sober and help people. I want to tell people that recovery is possible. It's not about anything else. It's not about me. It's not about fame. It's not about my beauty. It's not about anything else. It's about giving people hope, because that's what people do not have. They've lost hope. The person with the disorder has lost hope. The family has lost hope. Every person around that person has lost hope. So it's about giving people hope. That's why I'm ever in the media, talking about what I went through, how I got sober, and who I am now. My drinking all began with my father, who was an alcoholic. And it's good for Kenyans to know, or people to know, that the major contributing factor is genetic predisposition. Personally, I'm genetically predisposed. Alcoholism runs in our family, both paternal and maternal. It's been there from our great-grandparents. And I realized that when I was in the treatment facility. So my dad started giving us alcohol when, personally, I took my first drink when I was about 10 years old. My father, being an alcoholic, did not see anything wrong with giving us alcohol. That was his life. That was his way of doing things. And actually, alcoholism or drug addiction is something that blinds you so badly that you don't see anything beyond that drug of choice. So he wanted just for him it was fun. Going out with the children was fun. We started off with Muratina, which was considered a harmless African brew. Muratina was used even for when we had measles and whatever. They used to give children Muratina, even a 3-year-old. And it was medicinal that time. It had not been corrupted with all these additives that they add these days. Before it was purely honey, the Muratina plant, and the sugarcane juice. And then it was fermented for quite a while. The process was complete. And, they considered it harmless. They considered it medicinal. And a party was not complete without Muratina and beer, because my dad really loved Muratina. His friends are also people who loved Muratina and alcohol. Then we came to Thika. I was brought up in Thika in 1966, when it was a new municipality. So my father was one of the senior people who started that municipality. And Thika being a settlers town then, we had a lot of Wazungus, Warabus, Indians. We had members clubs, zile za Wazungu. So my dad joined those clubs, and actually most of the weekends we used to be there. And this is where now we would be given a sip of alcohol here and there. So you would run around and, you're getting high and running around and you think everything is cool. So my mom was not a very social person. So I take a lot after my dad. My dad was easygoing, was so approachable. He was a very social person. He's a person who talked and talked and talked. And, I take a lot after him because I also talk a lot. And then later we didn't know this was going to affect us. But actually my dad died in a road accident when he was under the influence of alcohol. My father was a highly functioning alcoholic who would actually drink until 5, take a shower and go to work. My father is one of those alcoholics who never staggered. And like I told you earlier, I never fail. In my drinking career, I never fail, I never staggered. Career. Yes. It was a career where you kept on graduating from one level to another. I never staggered, I never failed. I used to get drunk kwa mdomo because mdomo ilikuwa na speed ya mdomo ingine mbaya sana ya. Because now I was getting to a point where I could not drink, and everybody who questioned my drinking became an enemy. So I would abuse people, I would threaten people, I would do all those kind of things, missing work, and that is how now people would know that my drinking is getting out of control. A person with a drinking problem is they are expert manipulators, expert liars. And they want to manipulate everybody in that house. So, and remember this time around, we were not drinking to get drunk. It's just a sip here and there. Little did we know that later it's going to affect us. So my mom didn't have a say. At the time we were 4. 2 are dead now. No, actually, in my family now, in total, we have 4 people who've died as a result of alcohol complications. My father, my sister was working for Posta, and my brother, he was a mason, and my niece. So we have 4 graves that are actually alcohol related. So initially we were 7, now we are only 2. Because my mom died 3 years ago from cancer. So we are only 2, me and my brother. So my brother was also an alcoholic, the one who is alive. But he didn't go to rehab. He was beaten by thugs when he was going home. He went into a coma for quite a while. When he came to, he actually got born again. So huyo hakuenda rehab. Alichapwa, kati aliamuka, akaokoka. So ingine kuchapwa inasaidia. Si lazima uende rehab. There are many ways of getting sober. So his was through pain. Others get sober through shock. Maybe when you lose a loved one, then you say, okay, fine. If my brother has died, I will never drink again. Because I've seen one person who's brother died and he automatically stopped drinking. Yeah, early exposure now is a major contributing factor to many families, because now we want to have a whole cabinet of alcohol these days in the house. And again, when we go out on Sundays, weekends, after church, we are going out with children. They go to bouncing castles, bibi na bwana, they are left drinking. There's one question I also ask myself and also Kenyans. How do you hold a party of a 2-year-old baby and then invite the entire workplace team, and you buy 15 crates of alcohol and then other assorted drinks, you know, assorted. The baby birthday ni ya nani hapa? Ni ya mzazi ama ni ya this 2-year-old? And then you invite neighbors, children about 5 to come and sing happy birthday, na keki ni kilo moja. Na mbuzi ni 2. These children don't eat meat. These children soda ulinunua Coca-Cola ile kubwa na Fanta. They mix the punch ya watoto. So the rest of you will be left there drinking, and some of them have even come with their own kids. You've said you drink until midnight, you start urinating on the fence and all those kind of things. Remember, a child sees, a child does. And children will learn through imitating what they see their parents do, what they see the elders do, people who they respect. And I always tell people, actually, the person who introduces drugs and alcohol to children is a significant other. Is a person the child trusts, not a stranger. Either a friend, a family member, a pastor, an imam, a person that child gives a lot of respect. So the child is not able to say no. Look at my case now. I was introduced to drinking and smoking by my father. I used to light the cigarettes for him when I was 10. And then he would tell me, when I cough, he would tell me, we kohoa utakuja kuzoea. And later I got used to it and I stopped coughing. So now, I did well in my CPE, because I did my CPE in 1976. I joined Gun to Girls in 1977, the same year that my father died in a road accident, while under the influence of alcohol. So he had been drinking at Blue Post Hotel, I don't know, till 5 in the morning. Then he decided to go to Murang'a to see my grandmother, and then he never got past Kabati, got involved in an accident, died. He died on the spot. I think he was taken to Thika District Hospital, then Kenyatta. Gone. So they came for me, my family members came for me from school. We went home for that 1 week. After burial, the following day, they took me back to school. So how I've not processed the loss of my father. I didn't undergo any form of counseling, loss and grief. Nothing. You're just bundled back into the car and taken to school, thinking, I don't know why people feel that children don't have feelings as well. Children do. When they lose a parent, you look at my dad. My dad was very close to me. Very, very close, because we were ever together over the weekend when he's doing all those drinking and club hopping. So the loss of my dad was a big blow to me. So now you've been taken back to school where nobody understands your loss, where the teachers expect you to perform. Your friends expect life to go on as usual. The matron expects you to do your duties as usual. And I became very rebellious. I just wanted to do things differently. I think I wanted people to understand me, but I didn't know how to ask for it. So the only thing I would do was to do anything that other girls were not doing. So I started sneaking alcohol into school. I started sneaking cigarettes into school. I started introducing other girls into drinking. You know, I just wanted to be different. I just wanted to escape from the pain of losing my dad. But nobody took me through that process. So I looked from my own ways, and alcohol was one of them. Because alcohol is had made me and my dad bond more. So when I was informed in 1978 when Kenyatta died, there was a lot of uncertainty within the political space. So people didn't know who was going to be the president and who was not going to be the president. I mean, there was a lot of confusion because I think, including me, we never thought Kenyatta would die. So when he died, everybody went into shock. And so actually what the best that they could do is that senior people in government withdrew their children from the Nairobi schools and brought them now to what they used to call Oshago schools. Gandu was one of the Oshago schools, although it was performing better than any other school, but it was an Oshago school. So they brought the kids to Oshago schools. But these kids also drink and smoke. So I got a group of people now. There is even no more buying of alcohol, but they would bring the alcohol to school and we drank ourselves silly. So there's a place in school that was very foggy. That's where we used to hide our alcohol. That's where we used to smoke. We used to call it Siberia, because it was very cold, it was very foggy. So Siberia was our place where we used to drink and smoke. So I got friends, a clique of friends now, who are doing the same things as I was doing. Sneaking out of school and going to steal sugarcane. Surely, how do you go and steal sugarcane? From a neighbor's farm. So, neighbor anapiga mayowe, sisi na sneak back into Siberia. So, this messed up my education, and I didn't perform well in Gandu. I got a 3rd division. The 3rd division was unheard of in that school. Quite a number of us got 3rd division. The first time that Gandu girls were part of a 3rd division. So when I went home with a 3rd division, nobody wanted to see me, because my cousins had been to Gandu there before, and they were doctors. So now you come with a 3rd division. Hao walikuwa mapita na first. So they joined Form 5 and 6. They went to the university. One became a gynecologist. The other one became a veterinary doctor. The other became a psychologist. And now you are in Gandu and you come with a 3rd division. So now my mom could not understand how. And she's the one who was on my case every day. So until my auntie came and rescued me and said I can join Kenya Polytechnic and do a diploma course. So I chose IM, Institutional Management, because I love cooking. So IM is about catering and housekeeping. So I joined the diploma class. That was in 1981. So 81, I started organizing dancing competitions for all colleges in Nairobi. Because here we used to get a boom of 500 shillings. I was government sponsored. And so now I could afford alcohol and cigarettes very well. In the hostel, we were allowed to smoke. Nobody was bothered with you whether you go, whatever you come back. But they used to lock the door at 11. And at Kenya Polytechnic, whether you can go to class or you do not go to class, that's your problem. So you can imagine now you have your own money and this freedom now. So my drinking even got worse. And that's why I said, career, I kept on graduating from one level to the other. So in Kenya Polytechnic, I was somehow a social drinker. Not drinking every day to get drunk. But then, you see now, as I got more exposed to bigger things and bigger events and all that, I stopped now the dancing competition. I love dancing even up till today. But these days I dance for the Lord. But I still love the moves. So actually, when I was doing those dancing competitions, this one time I won Central Province. Yes, that time we had provinces. I became #1 at Green Hills Hotel in Nyeri. Can you imagine traveling from Nairobi to go and dance and compete and win? That was not a small thing. I was given an album of Ashford and Simpson. Don't joke, that was not a small time thing. And one by Millie, and another one by Millie Jackson. Yes, those are the kind of presents that we were getting. So actually, when I was a second year, I went a notch higher. So when I had now my drinking friends, my drinking buddies, and one of them came and told me, Ann Mathu, what are you doing in class when other beautiful girls like you are enrolling for Miss Kenya at KICC? Speed plus quality. Have you ever seen mtu ameenda mbio kama gari mpya? Nilitoka hiyo class mbio nikawachana hiyo bed cover nilikuwa nashona hapo. I went to KICC and enrolled there for Miss Kenya. So after that, every day I used to be at KICC practicing how to catwalk. And that it had been sponsored by Ellie Blunt's School of Modeling. So Ellie Blunt herself is the one who used to teach us how to catwalk. And she had told us that, now the #1 will go to Paris and then continue with the modeling training there at Ellie Blunt School of Modeling in France. Sasa, well, imagine France. And this mother who is talking about that division every day, so you'd rather go to France. So I started now seeing myself with akina Khadija Adams, akina Naomi Campbell. Hey, maisha London. Nishaenda. Sasa, catwalking was the in thing. I really catwalked. I really practiced how to catwalk so that I can go to France. So, in fact, now I started abandoning most of my classes because now, yeah, I knew I would win. But unfortunately, I didn't. Kiliibiwa. So I came second in that, but I cried. Nililia sana. The first position is the only one who was going to France. Second position, we were going to just be models. We were going to get contracts with companies here. I really cried. Then why I cried is not because of becoming number 2. I cried because I deserved the first position. Believe you me, I deserved. Whoever got the first position, I don't think she deserved that first. It's only that she had very influential people at the panel as judges. You cannot have a boyfriend as part of the judges and you expect to fail. No, your boyfriend will definitely give you 100%, even if you don't have the looks, you don't have the style, you don't have the walk, you don't have to, you don't even know how to turn. They will give you 100%. So that's how I lost that position. But I got so devastated. But then anyway, I got some contracts to model, and now more money. That meant more money. Changing of brands. Now you don't smoke at the Sportsman. Now you go to 3-5s, and you start smoking 3-5s. You start smoking more the cigars, the thin ones. And then changed boyfriend. My polytechnic boyfriend, I said, please, don't follow me anywhere. Now I'm a beauty queen. Your work is to line up for me when you're getting the boom. You get up now. As a beauty queen, you have to really have a nice boyfriend with real good money and a real nice car. Si mtu ati gari inazimikia kwa roundabout ati petroli imeisha, nakwambia wewe kalisha gari nachukua kibuyu nikimbilie petroli, ama hii ya kutoa moshi black. Hapana, ama ile ya kustuliwa ati imekataa kuwaka. Not those kind of vehicles. So I changed brands, I changed friends, I changed clubs. So actually now I used to drink at Hilton, I used to drink at Intercont, I used to drink at 680, I used to drink at Ainsworth. Ainsworth, I loved their disco. I used to drink at International Casino. Those were my clubs. After college, actually, I was posted to Moikweta Girls. Moikweta Girls, now with this boyfriend of mine, I was already pregnant. Because no, he told me, no, you are more beautiful than a wedding cake. I'll marry you. I don't know what, a lot of rubbish. I fell for the trap, got pregnant. I went to Nanyuki, Moikweta Girls. The guy abandoned me there. And he moved on with another woman. So you can imagine, I was a young mother, abandoned by the boyfriend I loved so much, the boyfriend who had said he would marry me, a boyfriend who had visited even my parents, my mom and the elders of the family, and a person who has let me down, and a person who has said he has nothing to do with me anymore. I became a very frustrated young mother. I think I was only 18. And he was a little bit older than me. So, it's like I was looking for a father figure. Here is a person who I thought would take care of me. And here I am, a new mother. And he has disappeared. If it wasn't for my mom, I don't know what I would have done, because my mom was of a lot of help to me. And I started drinking a lot. I started keeping alcohol in the house. I became some sort of closet drinker. Anytime was drinking time. It's like I got into a little bit of depression. So every time I got some free time, I would drink. And actually how I used to get my alcohol is that one time my friend, my friend and I were drinking at another Kaloko bar there. Can you imagine now, from those places I'd mentioned earlier to a bar called Kiambereria Bar? Yani, people used to call me and ask me, hey, where do you hang out? I said, a place called Kiambi, fantastic place. Because you can't say Kiambereria. And why it's called Kiambereria Bar? Because it's where the town starts. So, up at your Kiambereria. So anyway, one day, I asked my friend, where do these flights go? No, not say it's jet, it's in Indaga Wapi. Because when I was at Kenya Polytechnic, I used to go to the Isli base, officers' mess. So she told me, but we have a Laikipia Air base. Nikamwambia, you have a base here and you've never told me. So I told her, I want to meet those pilots who fly these fighter jets. Where do they drink? So she told me like Marina, Sportsman Arms. Nikamwambia no more Kiambiriria. I'll be paying the taxi, I'll be paying everything. Tunaenda. So the first time I went to I went to Marina. Where, I had we used to dye, not to dye, to palm our hair with a chemical called Revlon. That was the only available chemical. Nilikuwa inatuchoma. I had rollers. I went and rolled my hair now for the big day that Saturday. Nikaweka rollers. I did my nails. I got my stilettos out of the closet and I stepped into Marina like a model. You know how you enter a place all heads turn. That's what I did. So my friend was asking me, sasa mi nakujaga hapa Marina, these people have never even bought me anything. No, I can see the whole table is full of alcohol. And these are the pilots. I said, no, you don't come here with matuta the way you've plaited matuta. You have to style up. And from to next weekend, don't come with those matutas to this place. So you'd rather go and have blowout or something like that. One of them might talk to you. Because everybody wanted to talk to me. Everybody wanted to, who is this girl, the new girl in town? I don't look local. Hey, bwana. Lipstick, I pencil, powder, everything. You know that model, That model from Nairobi now came back. So anyway, but the main purpose of making friends with these captains was to provide me with alcohol. I didn't want to get into any relationship. I did not want a boyfriend at that point in time. I just want people I can hang out with until morning, drink, escape again. Remember, I was escaping from my dad's death. Now I'm escaping again from this relationship, which has turned toxic. Because this person has another woman. He's not picking my calls, or he will pick my calls and ask me, what does the baby need? And when I delivered the baby, actually, he came and named my daughter after his mother, and then he disappeared. And that's why I said, there's a moment when my mom, I went and lived with my mom for some time, and my mom helped me out with the baby. Because you see now, I'm a new mother. I don't know anything about the baby. This one has just come and he's saying he's going, and I'd already heard that he's with somebody else. I was just a frustrated young girl, very, very, very frustrated. And that's why I tell people, when it comes to alcoholism and drug addiction, you cannot pinpoint the contributing factor because there are so many factors along the way, so many losses, so many painful experiences that actually made you graduate from one level to another. So now, this time round now, I started, they started out there, I had about 4 friends who are very close friends that I would just call, and my alcohol is delivered to my house. So I started keeping alcohol in the house, and that was the worst mistake that I did, because now I stopped going out. At least when you socialize, it's better. I started now drinking in the house, and I would drink, I sleep, I wake up, drink, and I fell out with the management because of going to work drunk. And also at times going and coming late, 3 o'clock in the morning. This is a girls' school. I'm housed within the school compound. No. So I just left. I left that job. I just took my house girl and my kid and to Kaenda. Up till today, I've never gone back for anything. Sofa set, my clothes, nothing. What for? We just move on. So I just carried a few clothes for myself and the baby. The rest, mizigo mingi ni ya nini ya kusumbua kwa barabara. So I did not wait to be sacked. The pride of an addict. You don't wait for anybody to sack you. You sack yourself. So I actually came to Nairobi. I stayed with my cousins for some time. Then I got a job at Pan Africa Hotel. We are very lucky when it comes to getting jobs. It's only that we don't keep the jobs. I got a job at Pan Africa Hotel. I worked there for 3 years. My drinking now was worse. I had to drink in the morning to function. The first stage is experimental, and then social, and then instrumental. Instrumental is where the warning signs start to show. The first warning sign is blackout. Either total blackout or active blackout. Active blackout is where your car now starts knowing home. Ukisikia mtu akisema ati gari yangu inajua nyumbani, that person he is already in the 3rd level of addiction. And then from total blackout or active blackout. Active blackout is where you can even club hop from here to Thika and come back and don't even know you went to Thika. It's where you drop everybody else home and go home and don't even know how you got home yourself. But the car is there, it's not scratched, no accident. In fact, hata unachungulia kwa dirisha namna hii to see whether it's there. Because you don't know how you got home. And then your friends are asking you, Mazee ulifika nyumbani? Or you call them, nanyi muliendaje? Ati sinibali to drop. You feel very foolish. So you go to the cabinet, guilt and shame makes you drink. Start taking the early morning drink. So, and then from there you go to habitual. Habitual stage is where now you start drinking in the morning to stabilize, to function. So at Pan-Africa, we were supposed to clock in at 7. I used to clock in at 6:30. There was a barman who was also at Pan-Africa who had a drinking problem. So what I used to do is to go to the barman, and then we just take whatever drink is open and available. Because I had to take about 4 shots of vodka or gin or whatever. And then from there, and then smoke a cigarette, and then I used to get the alcoholic fits. Kukauka ile wanaitaka kastima. So I used to get that customer. So I had to get that customer at that very moment for about 3 seconds after I smoke. And then now I stabilize. You know, it's just like a relief. And that's why they say kutoa lock, because you are all tensed up. So then I would go, I was in the housekeeping department. I would go to the reception, get the room occupancy list. Then I would check the vacant room, take the master key, go back to the swimming pool bar, take the, there's a time we had the miniatures, of the vodka and Johnny Walker and whatever. Then I would take and put it in the water cistern of the toilet. Open the room, water cistern of the toilet, I would store those miniatures. And then the moment the alcohol level goes down, naenda, take a swig, close the cistern, and continue working. Then in the evening, I'll take my bottles and throw them away. And that's why I tell people that it gets to a time when the body starts demanding. When you start seeing a person having shakes in the morning, it's the body demanding for the drug of choice, and especially alcohol. Because alcohol is, the addiction is both physical and psychological. That's why you find a person shaking. The moment they drink, they stop shaking. So there's a lot of discomfort in the withdrawals that makes that person drink to stabilize. A lot of discomfort. And the discomfort I went through when I went to the rehab is what has made me not touch alcohol. It's very painful. So when you see a person selling anything just for that one glass, it's because of the discomforts. The heart is palpitating, you feel like it will come out through the mouth. You start diarrheaing, you start vomiting at the same time, surely. You don't even know which side to start. So all those discomforts, they come at the same time. So, but the moment you drink, then you stabilize and everything is fine. Maisha London. So in Pan-Africa, my drinking got worse with time. Why? Alcohol is readily available. It's accessible. It's acceptable. It's affordable. Because with or without. Actually, we used to get a service charge at mid-month. The service charge at times was so much bigger than the salary. And this is actually from the profit of the hotel. So like during safari rallies, when most of the service crew used to stay at our hotel and this kind of thing, we used to make a lot of money. So we used to use the service charge to actually pay for the drinks that you've taken. So the barman won't run after you. He also has a problem. So he'll wait until the service charge day. Then say, Mazee kumbuka ile straw. So you just go and pay and you continue. So it got to a time where now I say I'm missing work after I get my pay. I would go away for even a week. I would drink until the money is finished, and then I would come back to work. So as the HR wakaniita, kaniambia, no, and we've realized that you have a drinking problem. So what you're going to do, we are not going to sack you. We are giving you 2 options. You go either to Kericho Tea Hotel or Kilaguni Safari Lodge. I looked at that HR, nikaona huyu anataka tu nikufe tu by sending me to Kilaguni. Kilaguni Safari Lodge, and I have to look for alcohol kusema kweli. See, those lions will eat me. Then they will start saying how I died after a short illness there. I just thought, akili ya mlevi naendaka kama gari mpya. I just told myself, these guys want to get rid of me. That's why they're sending me to Kilaguni so that I can be eaten by wild animals. And then they will put me in the newspaper and say how good I was, and then they buy coffee and pay for the mortuary and say everything very good about me because we were under African tours and hotels, and all those people would come for my burial. So I said, no, I want to go to Kericho Tea Hotel because I know these people are putting me into a death trap. So Kericho Tea Hotel, I knew next there was a bar called Tas. And I knew I would go to Tas for my early morning drink and come to work. So I went with my brother, who was a poly-drug abuser. My brother was on alcohol, he was on marijuana, he was on Chavis, he was on Mira. And I don't know what else. Because even I used to ask him, what makes you high? Ananiambia hata mazee mimi hata mimi sijui. Juu najikutaga tu niko high. So my brother and I went to Kericho plus my girl, my daughter, and my house girl. So I was given a house in Kericho Tea Hotel, just next to the fence ya Tas. So I used to go to Tas. My brother and I used to go to Tas at about 6:30. We told the barman early when we went, sisi ni watu wa kukunywa pombe asubuhi. So tafadhali, you just open the bar for us and lock and go back to sleep, or you wait for us to drink because I'll be working at the hotel and then tunaenda. So we'd go and drink, kupiga flash, and then unavuta sigara and then unakauka kwanza and then you stabilize. So my brother told me, Sasa, instead of going round to the Tas gate, why don't we make a hole through the fence? So you could have seen me and my brother. And actually, I got promoted to assistant housekeeper when I got to Kericho Tea Hotel. Assistant housekeeper wa Kericho Tea Hotel, going through the fence. We've made a hole through the fence, me and my brother. And then we put twigs so that we can go. And actually, the house of the barman used to be now near that hole. So nikumpigia dirisha. Mase tumefika, we uko, anakupatia fungua geni. And then tutakuja tuhesabu mmekunywa ngapi. And then I go to work. And then I realized there was a barman also who had a drinking problem. So nikamwambia mase, kumbe kuna kuwa na shida kama hii yangu. So he told me, okay, fine. Now what we'll be doing, we stopped going to Tas in the morning. I would come to work and then he used to lock himself in the bar. Once I knock 3 times, he knows it's me. So he brews coffee and then he puts vodka or brandy or whatever. And then he puts lime and he puts lemon. And then he puts in a coffee, not mug, kettle kadogo hii. And then it's brought, he gives a waiter to bring for me in the office. So early morning drink, I would get it in the office and I would drink it in the office. And if I want more, I had simu kama 3. Just call the bar. Naletewa zingine. Start drinking while on duty. This is how I fell with the management. Because after work, I'd go to Midwest to drink there. One day, my manager found me there. He bought me 2 beers. Then he started asking for the bill. You know these men who drink 2 beers? You know, I was not seeing how a whole grown-up man can drink 2 beers. Me, I'm drinking 15. Him is drinking 2 and asking at it for the bill. So I asked him, Bwana manager, why are you asking for the bill? He said, I want to pay. For what? For these beers. I said, no. Bill inafaa kujawa na inapiduliwa paka hakuna space ya kuandika. That's when you pay the bill. So nikamtetesha, he bought me 4 more and he left. So I club hopped until about 5 in the morning. Then I went, nikaoga, nikakunywa pills na zingine 2 hapo. I went to work. I was told there was a meeting in the boardroom. Head of department. HOD's meeting. I went blacked out. Kumbe, topic ni mimi, agenda ni mimi, agenda number 1. I was the only agenda item. So, they are talking about me, I black out. So they discussed me and they saw the best thing is I lose my job. I be given 1 chance and then I lose my job. If I don't stop drinking, come to work late, drunk and drinking while on duty, I was going to lose my job. So they woke me up and the secretary tells me, oh, you know what, Ann, you might lose your job. Because the meeting was about you. Nikamwambia, so? About me. And then what have you discussed? That if you don't change, you might lose your job. And she's very sad. And I'm asking her, why are you so sad like that? Is it because I'm going to lose your job or you've been told because you're my friend, you're also losing your job? She said, no, I'm worried about you. Don't ever get worried about me. This is not the first time to lose a job and I am going. Don't even wait for me to be given a chance to change because I'm not changing. And I will not even make an effort to change. So I'll just go. So then my brother calls me. My brother had a fight with somebody and he was escaping. He escaped from Kericho. And you know, because when we took that person to hospital, it was serious and that person was referred to PGH and the police were looking for him. Drugs and crime go together. So police were looking for him, and actually he hid. It was 1992 when we had the Molo tribal clashes. So we had a lot of IDPs camping at the police station. They had come some, we had even the fights, even in the tea estate. So most of the Kikuyus were camping at the police station. So my brother, nilikwambia akili ya mlevi inaendaka kama gari mpya. My brother just said, he heard the police saying they're going to arrest him. Aliingia ndani katikati ya IDP na akanyamaza hapo. So police are looking for him everywhere in town. And he's inside the police station. So gari ya kubeba IDP kukuja, akaenda na IDP. So kufika Thika akachangiwa kama IDP. Pesa, mafuta, blanketi. So he called me. He said, "Mazee usinitafute. Mimi nilikuja kama IDP, mazee hapa maisha London unachangiwa, vitu, masufuria." Nikamwambia hata mimi nikaa nitachujua job. Akaniambia wewe enda ukae pale kama IDP, enda uone fulani. And may his soul rest in peace, because he was by the time he died, when was it? Early this year or last year? He was a very senior police officer. But then he was in the CID department. Tulikuwa na kunywaga na yeye. So he told me, go and see this officer akupatie nafasi kwa gari ya IDP, and then I mobilize people to wait for you, ndio uchangiwe vipoa. Because you see now, the people who were actually giving out things, helping out the IDPs, are the businessmen in Thika, people who worked with my dad, people who were my dad's friends. And when they saw my brother, they were asking, where is Gasheri? My brother told them, Gasheri niliwacha kama nyumba yake imechomewa. So I don't even know where my sister is. I don't even know whether she's alive or not. I don't even know even about her children. So my brother told me, wewe usibebe kitu. Na ukifika machozi hapa inasaidia. The more you cry, the more money you get. And then that time I had a second child, because I met another person who used also to drink. He was a manager with one of the tea estates. And then his wife has disappeared because of his drinking. Then he told me very bad things about his wife. I also told him very bad things about the father of my child. So we started somehow living together. But I never gave up my house in tea hotel. When his wife came back, I was already pregnant, 8 months pregnant, and the man disowned me. So you see, loss after loss, even in relationships. So pain after pain. So again, here I am with another child. I've been abandoned. But anyway, I managed to get to Thika as an IDP. My brother had mobilized people. I got a lot of money, but he had told me very, very well that 10% ni yake. Hapa deals lazima ziwe. So, sasa nanifanyia hivi, mimi nashindwa nini, kumbe ni machozi. So wakati nilishika, I cried. All of a sudden nikawachilia ile ya God is good, I've made it. Unaona? Ile ya kulia paka unashindwa kupumua. So unachangiwa vizuri sana. And actually, even one of the businessmen took us to Deacons. Akatunulia nguo, tukanunuliwa viatu, watu wakatuchangia vitanda, mattresses, nikalipiwa nyumba 6 months. My brother alikuwa ameshatafuta next to a bar, so that I don't have to go far. So after some time, wenye walikuwa nalipa nyumba, wakajua mimi siku IDP. Mimi ni kuchunja job juu ya day. So, and every alcoholic has to have a plan B. So I started seeing a plan B here in this bar. So there was a doctor I used to drink with, and nini. So when they said they're not going to pay my rent, nalikula nimechunguza, he doesn't have a wife. No family, no girlfriend, no nothing. Nikajua sasa huu ndio plan B wangu. So when they said they're not paying rent, wacha daktari akuje, because my brother had taught me very well how to manipulate people through tears. Nililia. Daktari akaniuza, Gasheri, what's the problem? Daktari cannot talk. So eventually he says, ongeza Gasheri. That's a way of calling for beer also. So after the 4th beer, nikamwambia daktari, I don't know what to do. My people have abandoned me. They said they can't pay my rent. I don't know what to do, daktari. He told me, no, Gasheri, don't even cry anymore. Is that what the big problem is, that you look like you're going to die? I said, daktari, I would rather even die. He said, no, move in with me, because I have a 2-bedroom house and I'm all alone. The following day, you don't wait. The following day, nilikuwa kwa daktari with my children and the house girl in our clothes. Hii vitu ingine ulikuwa umechangiwa napeana kwa plot. Ile karai iko na viraka na you don't take those kind of things to daktari's house. You only take the smart things. So actually, I lived with daktari for 5 years. Because after some time, mi nilitoka ile bedroom ya wageni. Nikaona, hapa ikikaa sana, kunaweza kuja mtu aanze kusema hataki hii group kwa hii nyumba. Unahama hiyo bedroom, you become the owner of the house. Na tukakaa for 5 years. But we kept on being transferred from one hospital to another. Tukataliwa Thika District Hospital because even his drinking was so bad. And he used to have severe withdrawals. We were taken to PGH Nyeri. PGH Nyeri wakampeleka pediatric ward. And then, huko hakuna kazi mingi. Once you do the ward rounds, there isn't much to do. So now we had not gotten njia kutafuta pesa. In Thika, there were very many ways of getting money. You never used to depend on the salary. With that kind of drinking, you have to get extra dough. So there was a bar just near outpatient in Nyeri, in PGH, opposite outpatient. So we used to drink there. Na nikaona watu wa mochari wanakunywaga hapo. Na walikuwa Wakikuyu. So nikaambia daktari, why don't you talk to these people, you be doing PMs? Sinthika you are doing PMs. Postmortem. So talk to these people, bwana wakue wanakuitia ka PM kamoja hapa na pale alafu mnagawanya do. So daktari was a very quiet person. He was not ule mtu wa kukimbilia maneno. So nikarusha pombe hapo. Wakasema, mam daktari asante sana. Nikamwambia nataka kuongea na nyinyi, si ati pombe peke yake nimerusha hapo. So I told them, okay fine, daktari tulikuja juzi. Mnaweza kuwa mnamuitia PM. So mnajua hizi stories vile zinaendaga. Anasema, anaitwa nani nini. We became friends. I said, you join us. So he started doing PMs. Every day tuko na PM kama 2-3. Pesa na inaingia. Until the provincial pathologist noticed these days haitiwi PMs. Akauliza nani anafanyaga PMs. Kaambia ni huyo. Tukapewa transfer. Alcalá Sub-District Hospital. Kwenda huko, the MOH alikuwa anatujua from Thika. He called the PMO. Akasema, no, I don't want these ones here. Tukapeleka Kerugoya District Hospital. Kerugoya tulikaa only 2 months. Daktari he collapsed in the house and died. He vomited out blood and died. Cirrhosis of the liver, and then the veins of the esophagus had become varicose. So what they did, they ruptured. So he had a lot of bleeding, internal and both coming out from the nose, from the mouth, and he just died. And daktari used to drink Pilsner Ice. That's what messed him up. That's what killed him. That's why I tell people it's not the brand that matters. What matters is that drug of choice. What that drug of choice is doing to your body. It's not the brand. It's you, your body chemistry, na hiyo pombe yako. I drank changa, I drank jet fuel. I did not die. Daktari just took Pilsner Ice, and that was it. So after that, now the family started blaming me. The way Africans will always do. They will always look for something to blame. They don't want to believe that their son ni ulevi, ni pombe imemuua, ni liver yake imefail. No, it's Ann Mathu who has killed him. And the mother was there. My mother-in-law was there. She saw everything. And then she went and told the tribe, because it was from a different tribe, that I murdered their son. So I was not allowed to view the body. They transferred the body now from Kerugoya to Kiromo, mortuary. I was not allowed to view the body. I was not allowed to go for the burial. They told me, you step there, we'll kill you. And we'll kill everybody else that is with you. And here I was with my children, my mom, and my relatives. Because he's a person who was known paka nyumbani. So that's another loss. That's unprocessed grief. I never processed my dad's. This one, you can imagine, my life was full of losses, which I never saw, which nobody ever identified. And this made me even drink more. Now I had 3 children. So my mom took the children, and I went to live with a family friend in Thika. So I started drinking these wines and spirits. Now I don't have money. So I started checking this cheap whiskey. Kwanza there's one that used to be called Sapphire. Tulikuwa naita chura. Sapphire unakunywa moja unalewa siku mbili. I've never taken anything. It's worse than changa. So your Sapphire tulikuwa tunaita chura because it was such a big sachet. So if you put it on the table, it used to start dancing up. Inakaa kama chura. That's when now I became like I've lost hope in life. Until a friend of mine came and found me in a wines and spirits shop. So she said, no, Gasheri, I never thought your life imekuwa mbaya hivi. I've come from Germany for holiday. Nikirudi, I'm inviting you to Germany. Yani ulevi ilifanya niende Germany. She didn't know that I was actually a very sick person. So everybody thought the loss of daktari is the one that had made me now go to even drinking second generation alcoholic drinks, not taking care of myself. But, okay, fine. It was a contributing factor. Because you can imagine, in my life, I only realized real happiness in sobriety. Because I went to Germany. I fell out with my friend now, because they used to keep a lot of Russian vodka in the house. So nilikuwa naangalia Russian vodka na iongelesha. No, Russian vodka ukagunywa. So so by the time they come from work, I'm already drunk. Nimelala kwa sofa set. I've not cooked. So she said, now, I don't want you to go back to Kenya. No more alcohol in the house. And the only thing you're allowed to do is to smoke. So they stopped keeping alcohol in the house. One day I woke up with severe withdrawals. Those ones I felt like I will die now. When they went to work, I left the house. I went to a bar called Cafe Duck. It was owned by a Cameroonian. So I just sat there, looked at the alcohol at the counter, and started crying. Because here, the withdrawals were so bad. I was literally, the whole body is shaking. So that man looked at me and just told the bartender, just give her 2 shots of vodka and a packet of cigarettes and a lighter. So hiyo ni one touch. So another 2, one touch. Nikapiga sigara zangu. Nikakauka my 3 seconds. I stabilized. So now, after stabilizing, I don't think he was going to buy me any more alcohol. So I looked at those wazungus from the counter. I used to love sitting closest to the alcohol. Si pahali unashinda ukiitana. No. When you say, this one is finished, can you kindly add? So I looked at those wazungus and I said, no. At my friend's place, no more alcohol. Now this one, amenitoa lock. So what next? I looked at those wazungus and I said, I can make money out of these wazungus. So I said, have you ever been to Kenya? They said, Anna, you're from Kenya. Tell us about Kenya. I mean, no, I can't tell you about Kenya. You have to pay. You have to pay me to tell you those stories of the big fives, of the tribes, different tribes in Kenya, their cultures, rites of passage. I have a lot of information about Kenya and about the Maasais, the Samburus. You have to pay. So if you want to listen to, they said, no, we'll pay. So there was another room now from the main bar, like where we are seated. So now they would come, and then now I'm the teacher. And a lot of alcohol, definitely, because these are the guys who used to come to drink in the morning. So wamekuja kutoa lock pia hao. And they have money. So why should I stay without alcohol and they have the money? So we agreed with this Cameroon guy. I be giving the talks, then tunagawana pesa. And then when I'm giving the talks, alcohol for me is on the house. So unarefusha topic. Unaongea about the lion. When you start talking about the lion, you don't talk about that lion for one day. You talk about it for a week. Today you talk about how they mate and how they go about the mating season. I don't even know. But what I used to dream at night is what I used to teach. The following day, you talk about the gestation period and then a lot of rubbish. I'd never seen. I saw lions the other day when I went to give a talk huko Masai Mara huko. Nikaonyeshwa lion. live nikaipiga picha. Hii ni ile nilikuwa naonaga huyo kwa geographical, I don't know, whatever you call those things. And then now from there I would say the gestation period, and then in lactation period inanyonyesha for how long, how it teaches the calves how to hunt and all that rubbish. A week inaisha, si ndio? Then we go to the elephant. The big fights would take a month and something. So I would start running out of topics. I geared the nini, tribes of Kenya and the rites of passage and all that. Ran out of topics. Nikaona kamzee kangine hapo. Nikaona now this one, I have to have a plan B because now this one, I'm running out of topics na lazima nispidisha hii maneno. So I used to sit with him after the talks. He used to come for my talks. So, he used to ask a lot of questions, tunakaa na yeye, but it was my plan B. So one day he told me, Anna, I'm in love with you. I said, I fell in love with you a long time ago. I just didn't know how to tell you. He said, Anna, will you marry me? I said, yes, I'll marry you. So I called my brother. Nikamwambia kuna kazee hivi kanakaa kifo na pesa imeshikana hivi. Because he was a very sickly person. He had been done, I don't know how many surgeries, because he had gangrene of the intestines. The intestines were getting rotten. So he used to be removed those rotten ones and anaekwa ya plastic inawachana. And he told me the doctor had stopped him alcohol for about 4 times. So he was just a weakling. He was just taking Russian vodka with me there. But I saw his health was not good at all. So I knew even if we get married, si ati mtu tutasumbuana naye sana. And on top of that, he was 75, I was 39. So this one was very good now for me. So I called my brother nikamwambia, my brother akaniambia maze, usiwaste time. We mlete, unajua huko, utaanza kuitishwa spinster certificate kutoka kwa chief. We kuja hapa, unajua style za Kenya. Hapa ni kupeana do kidogo, wedding inaspidishwa. Huyu mtu anakuwa afadhali ya kuwa asubuhi sana na yakitoe. So we stayed at my brother's place. He had a 2-bedroom house. So we were partners in crime. So when he came, he used to roll his own tobacco without filter. So he used to cough a lot. So he started coughing. My brother told me, Gasheri, spidisha harusi. Anakaa anaweza kukitoa anytime. So my brother kaniambia nimejitolea kuwa best man. Hapa ni kuspidisha. Hii maneno nimeona hiyo kukohoa uawezika. So actually, tulienda tukaspidisha. Actually, my wedding dress, it was not a gown, it was a dress. Was made in 2 hours. 2 hours was enough. Because there was no complication. I don't know why people complicate weddings. Hii ni kuenda kwa fundi, inakatwa hivi, inakatwa sleeveless, inawekwa slit 2, knee length na lining. I mean, then go across the shop. Across the road, there were some shoes. I got some cream shoes. My dress was cream. You don't wear even these things of the head. Maneno. And I had a very nice choker. And booked Blue Post Hotel. I mean, in one day, we had done everything. And the wedding was the following. We did everything on Friday and Saturday. The wedding was on Tuesday. I invited people through my phone. My brother told me, credit ikiisha, invitations imefika mwisho. So we only got my mom to bring some ladies from the village to dance for me at Blue Post Hotel. Maisha ikaendelea. We did the wedding. My brother was my best man. That morning we took about 2 bottles of vodka before coming to hapa kwa Ogechi. My best mate was also another alcoholic. So ilikuwa harusi ya walevi, wasimamizi walevi. And then that was it. After that, he stayed for a few days. He wanted to adopt my children, so he was supposed to send me my papers. Ndio watoto nikubalisho kwenda na watoto wapate his passport and visas and whatever, so that I can go with the children. Because he was a very insecure man, based on his age and his drinking and, me being still very young. He didn't want the children to stay because he said I would always try to get a chance of coming back to Kenya because of the children. So he wanted me to go with the children. We do another marriage now, according to the German laws, so that now I can become a German citizen. He went 1 week later, he died. Yeah, he died in the house. So actually the neighbors called the police. They said, we've not had any movement in this house. The police called, nobody was answering the phone. So they came and opened the door and actually found him dead on the seat. In the sitting room, he was just in a sitting position. So my friend calls me and tells me Vena died, and nikamuliza ameandika will, ati hajaandika will. Nikamuliza hakuna kitu ameandika, akasema hapana. So Shiko akaniambia, you know what, you cannot inherit anything from Vena now. Sasa chances zako of becoming a German citizen ziko 0. I cried for 3 days because I had imported this man to marry me so that I can go back to Germany, become a German citizen by marriage or through marriage, and then I inherit everything that he has. Now yote imeenda the state because he had no children, he had no relatives. Unajua hiyo research lazima ufanye kabla hujaolewa. Sasa hakuna mtu tungepishana naye kotini. Sunaona hiyo homework nilikuwa nimefanya vizuri. But anyway, so I got nothing. And this is the thinking of an addict. An addict is a very selfish person. An alcoholic is a very selfish person. Because I never even thought about the health of this person. I never thought about the future of me without this person in Germany. All I was thinking is what I will get from him. All I was thinking is about myself and my drinking and how I'm going to invite my brother, who was my partner in crime, so that he can come and later invite his wife and we all live in Germany, and then later invite my mom. And we all live in Germany comfortably. They are drinking Russian vodka. So now after that, I cried for 3 days, me and my brother. My brother was saying, afadhali angekufia hapa because alikuwa na chuma mguu. Tungetoa hapa City Mortuary tung'oe hiyo chuma kwanza, alafu tupeleke aende achukuliwe na watu wa embassy hapo. So that's the thinking of an addict. An addict's mind is usually very clouded, that it doesn't think anything beyond the drug of choice. So all this revolved around our drinking. All these thoughts and plans that we had was to facilitate our drinking. That is not what I would have wished for a person today. That was the addict speaking. And that is why I tell people to learn how to differentiate a person from addiction. Because when a person is not drinking, they usually say, he's very good when he has not drunk. So what makes him bad is not even the drink, it's the disease of the addiction. The moment you learn to separate the two, the person is still good. So, and I've seen that this one works, especially when you're doing the interventions. Bring out the good in this person. When you bring out the good in this person, make them feel that they're still part of the family. It's easier for them to go for treatment. Other than when we call them all the names that end with less. Useless, faceless, baseless, nameless, all those things. It doesn't help. It only aids the person get worse. So when this person died now, I started taking second generation alcoholic drinks. From there I went to drinking changa. Then I actually lived in the slums. I moved to living in the slums. Every day at 6, my brother had to come with changa, feed me with changa on that mattress. Otherwise, I wouldn't wake up. This time the withdrawals were so severe that if he doesn't come, if he fails to come, I would just lay there on that mattress, diarrheaing on myself. So my brother had to come, feed me with changa, give me a roaster cigarette so that ispidishe your customer. Then I stabilize, and then now we go to hustle. Hustle is pickpocketing. I told you crime and Nini go together. So I was a very bad pickpocket. I would pickpocket people even there at the Changaden. I pickpocket you and I buy alcohol for you. And you try to say you've lost your money, you will see. Utajua Yesu ni Bwana. Because the things that will come out of my mouth, you just shut up. I'll just tell you, wewe kwanza upatio mtoto. Mtoto is half liter of changa. Stop telling us that wewe maybe because you work for BAT. That everybody else here who is not working is useless, they don't have money. And start saying how you've lost money. Hey, are you the first one to have 1,000? Pewa hata jik kama unataka jik. Na ukicheza tutakutandika. So you know, because of now, my dad brought us up knowing that fighting is good. Fighting is cool. Fighting is how you sort out your issues. Because anytime he went to the bar and, he crossed paths with somebody, the only thing he would do is to box you. So we grew up knowing that fighting is good. Every time we went home and you're crying that you've been beaten, my dad used to go back, no food for you, until you beat up that kid. So actually this is what helped me in the addiction world. Addiction world is real bad. It's real mean. And you've got to be real tough to survive. You've got to be real tough to survive. Either physically, my brother was physical. Me, it was verbal. Verbal. Now you can imagine me and my brother, we are both at the chang'aa, and one is verbal and the other one can go physical anytime. So we were, watu walikuwa natuogopa sana, base. So I would pickpocket you and give the money to my brother, and then my brother anaenda kutafuta change, and then we come and buy for you. So my brother would ask me, nini sasa inaendelea hapa? Nasema huyu mtu anasema ati amepoteza pesa. Sini Katusa nipige tero. Katusa is the one who used to sell us alcohol. Na pesa ilienda kitambo. Sikatusa kuja nipige tero. And then my brother would come. Ita sister yangu mwizi. And then they used to call my brother Jesus. Why they used to call my brother Jesus is because if you came to the chang'aa den and you were suffering from withdrawals, alafu umwambie Jesus nitibu, he would buy you 1 glass. So he was the redeemer, he was the healer of those people who are suffering from withdrawals and they did not have money. He was the miracle worker. So they used to call him Jesus. So when Jesus gets annoyed, akikasirika kwa base, walikuwa wanasema, Jesus akikasirika, utapata punch. Lazima atakutandika. So unaona mtu anambeg, Jesus siku anamaanisha hiyo, Jesus siku anamaanisha hiyo. Sasa imagine mtu akiitwa Jesus kwa chang'aa. But anyway, even when he died, kila mtu alikuwa anasema, Jesus amekufa, Jesus amekufa. That was his name, and he was known as Jesus. So anyway, Jesus was my savior, even in those chang'aa days, Jesus in quotes. And so he actually one day came and found me now in that state. Akaniwekea chang'aa, akanifeed na hiyo chupa. Then akaniuliza, sasa unajua hakuna tei, hakuna pombe tena, kuna palisri. Nikamuliza tutadu. Kaniambia, we kwanza wacha nikutibu, alafu nikushu. No, hiyo nikutibu. He was a doctor also. Hii nikutibu sasa kupatiwa ni chang'aa ya asubuhi. He had to tibu me every day. So, tukaenda, akaniambia tutaenda kwa sema kuna kitu. Nikamuliza kitu gani? Akaniambia wewe twende. So, kwa sema ilikuwa sasa hata kwa hakuna kuketi. Because base yetu haikuwa na viti. Viti ya tulikuwa viti ya plastiki, tukachukua base yetu usiku tukaiba, tukaenda tukauza kwa base ya sema. Tukawekewa form, tukaziiba usiku, tukapeleka mama wa kupika chang'aa. So tuliwekewa mawe. Unajua hii mawe ya kujenga? Mawe hakuna mlevi, the way we were so malnourished, angebeba hiyo mawe. So we used to sit on stones. So kwa sema sema is mercy. Besi ya sema sasa ulikuwa unaweka pesa hapo. Unaweka pesa hapo, unapatiwa glass, ukiweka pesa ya glass 2 sasa akaweka my brother, sasa Jesus akaweka ya glass 4. So me too and him too. Kupika ya kwanza nikamwambia Shons, nini ina taste petroli? Kania hii ndio inaitwa mandeke. Piga flash ukimbia nyumbani, mimi siwezi nikakubeba. Do you know nilipiga flash? Nikaenda kwangu, I blacked out. It was 10 o'clock in the morning until the following day, 10 o'clock. Ndio niliamuka. Hiyo jet fuel hiyo. I don't know where same I used to get it from. Ama it's industrial fuel. I don't know what it took, but my whole body nilikuwa najisikia nanuka petroli. Sijui ni petroli. I don't know. And I felt my skin was just smelling of petrol. I went and blacked out for 24 hours. When I came to, I vomited blood and water. That was my wake-up call. I remembered how daktari vomited and died. And don't forget, I'd attempted suicide 3 times. Nilikuwa naenda crusade na okoka. The following day I forget. So nikasema wacha niende niokoke mchana. I went to church and I was thrown out by the church because I was drunk. And unajua nikipitia hapo nilikuwa na watusi. So I used to tell them, ati hata mkiimba hapo msifikiri ati mtafika huko juu mbele yetu. Mtanikuta hapa kwa mlango tukiwa na Peter. Sisi ndio tutakuwa tunasema ni nani aingie. Because sisi tuna dhambi ya ulevi, nyinyi mna dhambi zingine hata hazieleweki. So when I went to their church, they threw me out. Nisema panda wewe dhambi zako unashindaga hapo kitu. Thrown out kama ile kitu very bad. I was thrown out in, yani umeshawahi kubebwa na kutupwa. So they threw me like a bag of garbage across the road. I sat on a stone and said, surely, even God hates me this much. Juzi, my cousin had told me, wewe, because nilikuwa nimejaribu kujiua, ulikuwa umejaribu uende wapi na umekataliwa paka na shaitani. Satan would not want you in hell because we kaliba yako hata shaitani hataki. So you have nowhere to go. You cannot go to heaven, and even Satan cannot accept you in hell. And here you've been thrown out of church. So you have nowhere to go kusema kweli unless you die and your spirit will just keep on roaming here kama kayakai. So I went and attempted suicide. Again, I was taken to hospital. I woke up in hospital. That time I had taken rat poison and don't know what. In fact, I wanted to sue that company hiyo ya kutengeneza hiyo dawa ya panya because why didn't I die? And then I was next to a woman who was of Mothers Union, sijui Mothers Guild. So those people used to come and pray for us. And then she died. You know, when she died, I knelt down and I screamed. I asked God, how do you pick people? Because huyu ni mtumishi wako, she cleans the church, kanisa yote inakuja hapa paka pastor praying for her, and she dies. Mimi I'm making direct appointment with you through dawa. Najaribu commit suicide so that I can come, you can pick me, and you are not picking. I was very cross with God. I was annoyed with God because I'm trying to die and he's not taking me. Other people are dying. Sasa hata kama ni wewe hungelia. Mama wa Mothers Union, she's so useful to people, to the church. She's preaching and saving lives. Me, which lives am I saving? I'm just a useless person drinking changai and living in the slums. And God is not taking me. So actually, I had to be strapped. Kile kingua kingine, ukilete tafash. Wanakufunga mikono hivi alafu wanafunika nao, and then you are put in isolation ward. Huko unafungiwa huko ndani in a padded room because I had gone nuts. Kwanza kuna mama mwingine hapa nilimuuliza, where do you I developed psychosis, alcohol induced psychosis. So then from there, after now coming down, after this woman has died, I looked at another woman, mama mzee, nikamuuliza, bona umevuta sportsman yangu? This mom was about 90. Sasa ananiuliza, ripoti mani nedo. She has never even heard of sportsman. Then I went around all the cabinets, the ward. I find glucose, that was my beer. So nikakunywa glucose ya other patients. So patients are now calling nurses, nakunywa glucose yetu. Nikamwambia ni pombe yangu, bona muliiba pombe yangu usiku. So then after that is when I drifted into an alcoholic coma. And then I had to be brought to Nairobi Hospital. It was bad because not many people survive that kind of a coma. An alcoholic coma is brought by DTs. We call them delirium tremens. There's profound confusion. There's too much alcohol in your system, and then the brain just shuts down, and other organs might actually also start shutting down. So that's when I was actually rushed to... a neurologist came and saw me and said, no, this one let's rush her to a place where there's ICU or HDU. And I survived that. And went back and attempted suicide again. This is when now a family friend, upon discharge, I went and sat in the Changaden Apple. And I didn't know what to do with my life. That's when I saw a gentleman coming. Nikaangalia nikaona si police. Because police, tukiona police, lazima ukuwe na story ya kuambia police. Either upite, because most of the times we used to have jackets, juu ya kusikia baridi, even when it's hot. So vile tulikuwa tunafanya, ukiona pae, unapiga kona, unatoa jacket, and then unarudi, mnakutana tu na huyo pae. Anakuuliza, unaona mama amekimbia hivi na jacket, eti, hata amepiga kona ingine hivi. And then the police anakuta jacket, kumbe anarealize, when hiyo slums atakupata wapi? Siku ingine walinikuta hapo ndani kama nimewekewa chang'aa na sijakunywa. So kulikuwa na kabati hapo. Pai kuingia hivi, nikarusha mtoto sasa ni that half liter ya chang'aa, ndani ya kabati nikakuta githeri, nikatoa githeri, nikashika. So police kuingia wakaniuliza, "Hata wewe mama umeingia hapa kukunywa?" Nikamwambia, "Afande, mimi hata nakula githeri, hata hao ndio naambia wakiendelea hivi watakufa na hii chang'aa." So everybody was carried. Wakati Land Rover kilitoka hivi, nikarusha ile githeri, nikachomoka na changa yangu, nikapiga flash na kukitoa. So there was a lot of drama. And you know, you have to be quick in thinking and action. So anyway, that is how Saturday, I deteriorated so badly. And there's this suicidal thing, and I just wanted to die. And this is when I saw this guy, and I looked at him, nikaona this police, but he's not a policeman, but he looks very familiar. Then when he came closer, he'd call me Gasheri. And anybody who called me Gasheri, I knew that must be a family friend or a family member. So kucheki, mazeni mtu mwingine tulikuwa tunachapa tei naye when I was working at Pan Africa. So he told me, oh, Gasheri, I've come because I'm looking for you because you're such a nice person. I love you. And I said, I talked to your mom. I talked to everybody else who knew where I could get you because I love you so much. And I've come to actually save you because there's life after addiction. Nikamwambia mbona uko smart hivi? Akaniambia, now he gave me a story, how he went to rehab and one and one. He brought out the good of me. He gave me hope that there is life after addiction. He told me, Gasheri, you know, you can become a public speaker. You can become a campaigner against alcohol and drug abuse. Jamani. You can make so much out of hii kiherehere yako. Hii kiherehere yako hapa unapiga hizi story kwa. Because when he came, everybody was coming, saa makate ni aje wapi Jesus? They used to call my nickname in the Changadens was Makate. Makate ni mlevi in Sheng. So saa makate ni aje, wapi Jesus? Jesus now is my brother. So he just told me, you see, the way people are just saying hi to you and everything, you know, you're a very social person. You can use this to make a difference. You can use this to save lives because I know you can make it. I have so much trust and faith in you. This is what I'm doing. I'm an addiction counselor and I want you to join me. Let's do this together. I will work with you. I'll take you to your rehab. Na ukitoka, I'll be there to pick you up. And I'll make sure you don't come to Thika. I'll make sure that you get a job, even if it's as a volunteer, and you'll make a difference in this nation. That is the person who gave me hope. That is the person who changed my life around. That is the person who stepped into my world, into the addiction world, came into the dark pit where I was trapped, held my hand, and walked out with me. And that is how I ended up in the rehab. Because nobody, for a very long time, had ever told me I'm good. Nobody had ever been positive towards me. Everybody was just bringing out the negative in me. And this is what was making me suicidal. Because they were just confirming what I felt about myself. I felt useless. My self-esteem was so low, no self-worth. And then they used to come and just confirm what I felt about myself. And this is a person who has come and brought up the good in me, the positive side that had been hidden by alcoholism. He has brought it out. He has given me hope. He has shown me the other side of life that I had not seen in so many years. I felt loved. I felt appreciated. And I felt that all is not lost. I felt there's something I can do to change myself, my children, my relationship with my children, relationship with my family, relationship with God. Gave me so much hope. And I cried so much. And he held me and allowed me to cry on his very nice suit with all that makamasi and everything else. He did not care what I looked like. He did not care how dirty I was. He did not care how disheveled I was, but he hugged me. And he told me, you're still beautiful. You're still a wonderful person. Those were magic words to my ears. And I am sober today because of those words. I am sober today because someone held my hand. Someone removed me from that dark world. He just didn't tell me about it. He walked with me. He held my hand. So preaching is not just about the Bible. Preaching is giving people hope in life. And this is why you'll find me in every studio giving this story, because it's about giving people hope that there is life after addiction. It's about giving people hope that recovery is possible. It's about telling people that a person with substance use disorder is only down but not out. With treatment and rehabilitation, they can spring back to life and become useful people in our community, in the society, in the world, in our nation. And they have stories, powerful stories. Those are wonderful souls. Because Satan will go for the wonderful people and try to destroy their destiny, try to destroy them, try to destroy their future, try to destroy their children. But right now, if I can tell you, in our family, we already have a drug-free generation. Because I've made a point of taking my cousins and family and relatives to rehabilitation centers. We've put our children together and told them about the dangers of drugs. And they've chosen to be a drug-free life, to lead a drug-free life. So many people will question, why do you talk about your past? It doesn't sound very good. It will sound very bad to those people who want to feel very bad. It will sound very bad to a person who's not been affected by alcoholism. And believe you me, addiction cuts across the board, irrespective of how rich you are, irrespective of your education background, irrespective of your social status, it cuts across the board. The poor, the rich, it can catch up with you. And that's why I'm here today, to give you hope. There is life after addiction. Don't look at people with addiction problem as failures. We are not failures. And we went all those through bad experiences and tests so that we can have testimonies. And believe you me, my testimony, the other person's testimony is more powerful than a PowerPoint presentation. Because a person who is watching me right now will see where they're at in their addiction. A parent who is watching me right now will see where the son is in their addiction. And this is what now we are saying, that we have to come out and recover loudly. We are no longer going to recover silently. We are going to recover loudly so that we give people hope, because I believe every campaign is about giving people hope. We cannot just say we are campaigning against alcohol and drug abuse and we are not giving people hope. If you don't give people hope, then we are going to lose a generation of the young people who maybe might need help, who want to get help, but they don't know whom to go to. They don't know who will appreciate them. And when I say what my friend did, I would like to talk to parents. Bring out the good in your children. You never gave birth to an alcoholic or a drug addict. You didn't, God is not punishing you because all your children have taken that direction. My mom had 4 children into alcoholism. But by the time my mom passed on, at least me and my other brother, we were sober. And we were able to take care of her when she was sick. And I'm happy because my mom saw me sober. My mom saw me take care of my children, and I took care of her when she was sick. So parents, I'm giving you hope. There is a way out. Let us hold the hands of our children. Let us not be so mean to them, but tough love also works. Again, it's not that when they ask for money, you give them. Tough love. But let's bring out the good in them so that when you bring out the good in them, then taking them to rehabilitation or treatment facilities is going to be easier for us. This person has done something good in their life. Maybe they were very good in school. Maybe they were very good in roasting meat. Can you bring out that out now that they cannot be able to do? Because actually, maybe at times, and even when the person comes out, don't keep on reminding them. You know, when you are drinking, when that person is ready to share their story, they will share their story. We are so many, we are thousands and thousands and thousands of people in recovery. But not everybody has the grace and the courage to talk about their past. At times I've seen people break down live on TV because the pain is way too much. But I prayed and asked God to give me the grace and the courage to give my story and to use my story to give people hope. Because I believe in giving people hope and to give me a purpose. Because I really did not know what is my purpose, even in recovery? So what is my purpose? My purpose is to share my story, to give life, to give hope, and to save lives. It's because by giving my story, that person who will hear will go to treatment facility, and there we've saved a life or two. My life was saved because someone gave me hope. Not because there was someone going around in a truck talking about addiction. It's not because we had too many PowerPoint presentations. No. PowerPoint presentations usually are very good when you're doing these things at the workplace. But when you want to reach to the general population, and I'm not telling people to drink because they say it's about giving the young people that you can drink and stop. That is not the purpose of, that's not the core purpose of this story. This one is to give hope and for people to know that they can still stop when there's still yet time. Because if someone had spoken to me, if I had heard someone say their story on TV that time, I could have known there's life after addiction. I could have reached out for help. But now, who knew about rehabs? Nobody. There was a lot of stigma, and there's a lot of stigma, even up till today, around rehabs, because rehabs are considered institutions for failures. No. People should look at them as treatment facilities for people with alcohol use disorder or drug use disorders, because actually addiction is a disorder of the whole person. So when you're taking your child or your significant other to a treatment facility, look for a facility with a structured program with a holistic approach. Because addiction messes up the entire person. Your physical, psychological, your social aspect, spiritual. So it messes you up holistically. So let's look for treatment facilities with structured programs, with a holistic approach, and also a person-centered approach, where the person is still good. Let's just separate the person from addiction. We deal with the addiction, the person is still good. Encourage this person to become better. Most of the times you'll see a person drinking and crying. Why do they cry? They cry because they are trapped in a space they cannot get out of. They are crying because they do not understand themselves, and they do not understand why other people do not understand them. They make an effort of becoming a better person, but we bring them down. And who does that? It's the family members. It's the significant others. It's family friends who start questioning, why are you like this? That person has no answer. So, can you offer a solution to this person by telling them, okay, fine. We know you're going through this moment. You're still part of this family. We know that you're suffering from the disease of addiction. We've already known as a family that this is a disease. We are ready to work with you. We are ready to take you to a treatment facility. We'll be visiting you because we know you're a good person, and recovery is possible. We'll work with you. These are the words that should be coming out of family members, not how useless and baseless this person is. That's why you find them crying, and that's why you find them suicidal. Because ye mwenye hajielewi. Wengine, they are not even making an effort of trying to understand this person. Remember, irrespective of what that person is or what they are using, that's still your brother. That's still your father. That's still your mother. That's still your sister. And it's worse even when it's a woman. Because they'll brand you all sorts of names. Name prostitute, I don't know what. A prostitute gets well dressed, goes to work to exchange sex for money. This other person who is in the bar throughout is looking for alcohol, is looking for the high. Is not there to exchange sex for money. What happens is that this person, this lady, is taken advantage of by men who are healthy, who are psychologically okay, because she is very vulnerable. They are taking advantage of because actually both men and women at that habitual compulsive stage, they are not sexually active, all of them. So what kind of prostitution is that? A prostitute prepares to go to work because hiyo ni career yake. So why label a person who is suffering, a sick person, a prostitute? Because if you call me a prostitute, definitely, even if you try to do an intervention, I will not listen to you. If you call me hopeless and useless and failure, and you come and start telling about treatment, I'll tell you, excuse me, don't talk to me. Already you've branded me a failure. So why are you telling me that I can become a better person? So that's why you see, we fail. And then when you hear families saying, we've tried everything. What have you tried? Abusing that person, bringing them down, making them even feel worse than they already feel. And that's why you find them storming out of family meetings and going to where they are accepted. Everybody is looking for acceptance. So where is their comfort zone? In the dens. And that's why you hear them, family members say, anashindaga huko, because he's accepted. When he comes here, nobody listens to him. Nobody. In fact, any family gathering that I went to, anytime I tried to say, you shut up. We all know you. There's nothing tangible you can see in this gathering. So maybe you're even asking for help, but you are being told, no, you shut up. Again, there's something we call state-dependent learning. State-dependent learning is where you can do something. For example, you learn how to choma nyama very well when you're under the influence of your drug of choice. When you stop, you forget. Just like how you get born again when you're drunk, when you're sober, you forget. It's the same thing. So if this person was cooking very well and chomaring when you have events and alikuwa nachekesha watu vizuri sana when he was drunk or when he's taken marijuana, ati when nawe tangu toke rehab kwa umekuwa bubu. And taku toke rehab sasa hujui kuchoma nyama. Why are you taking back to where they're coming from? If he doesn't want to choma nyama, let him not choma nyama. Don't push people into religion, first of all. Because what we do, most of our treatment facilities are spiritual programs. Let them choose their spirituality. What direction do they want to go? After rehab, I didn't go to church for a very long time because I believed God was against me in every aspect. So it took me about 6 years to go to church. And that church, when I gave my story why I hate church, they embraced me, and I'm in that church even up till today. In fact, we have a department on alcohol and drug abuse. We don't chase our levies. They come, they sit there. In fact, during Kesha, they will come and dance until morning because they love gospel music. Why? Because of that spiritual void. They're looking for the spiritual connection. But wakati ya kutoa sadaka, you will not see them. Hawezi toa sadaka. Sasa sadaka natoa alafu kesho atoe lock na nini. But they are wonderful people. In our church, we don't chase them. What we do is to embrace them and give them hope and pray for them and pray with them. Not everybody will celebrate you in recovery. Because some of them, first of all, they had ruled you out. They had seen that now the next thing they're going to do is to bury you. And then they don't bury you, and then you come and overtake them in life. You see? So there's that element of jealousy. There are some people who don't talk to me even up till today. Some of them are family members because they never thought I would get to this level. There are others who are ashamed of my talking like to the media. They are ashamed on my behalf. I don't even know why they're ashamed of my behalf. It's not somebody else's story I'm telling. It's my own story. And if you're not comfortable with my story, then just switch off your TV. Because there are some people who will benefit from this story. There are some people who will not see the positive side of me being here, giving my story. And they're not even related to me. But they are asking, why should I give my story? So I usually tell people, if you don't have a story to give, just leave me alone. I have a story to tell. If you don't have a story, just keep quiet, just do something else. Because some think it's a way of getting to the limelight. Some think it's a way of trying to show off. Some think it's a way of trying to show that you are sober and where you are at life. That is not the thing. That is not the thing. But believe you me, even right now, if I hear there's somebody in any slum around here who wants to get to a treatment facility, From here, I would go straight there. I don't fear going to the drug dens. I don't fear going to the chaga dens. I don't fear entering a club which is dim lit. As long as I'm going to save a life, I will go. So it's not just about being on TV, but it's also about saving lives. I will go and sit on those stones where I used to sit. And actually, I fished out a lot of them from, that very den where I used to go. I will go and sit on the stone, come down to their level. I'm not this kind of person who actually revolve around titles. I hate titles. They don't give me that thrill. Titles don't give me thrill. I don't get excited about a title. It means nothing. I get excited about saving a life, walking with somebody, pulling somebody out of that pit they're in, that dark pit, walking them into a treatment facility, see them walk out straight with their head and their chin level to the ground, walking with them until they get a job, and see them grow. Like last Saturday, I attended a wedding of a person in recovery. That is what, you should have seen the way I jumped there dancing. I was dancing like I'm the one who was getting married. But that is what gives me the kick. That's what gives me the thing. That's what gives me, it's just another level of happiness that somebody has come out of addiction, someone has gotten married, he's starting a family, and that's what thrills me, not titles, no. Yeah, I wrote this book, Sober Again, when I was about 7 years sober. It took a while because this is reliving my past. And I cried while writing, but I thought it would be a good tool to use for families, churches, communities, because even when I'm not there, someone can read the book. They are even in learning institutions, even resource centers in some authorities or some parastatals, including the parastatal that I work for, where I'm a board member, and it's not expensive. I did not write this book because I wanted money out of it. It goes for about 500 shillings. I don't want money out of this book. I wanted people to learn and to get hope, to learn and know that, to read and get that feeling that they can also recover. For that parent to read and know that there is a way out. For that parent to have hope that their son can also become better, their daughters can become better. Because actually, I said addiction is shame-based, but it's far worse off for a woman. So let them see this Ann Mathu, who is a woman who has even the courage, not only talking to Kwa media, has written a book about her past. The dark cranny of my past is in this book. And I'm not ashamed to talk about it. And I will continue talking about it until God gives me time here on earth to talk about it, because it's not only that the young people who are getting into addiction. We have people like, I'm 60. We have people who are 65, 70, who have a drinking problem, who are still entrapped into addiction. Like I said, it cuts across the board. Doesn't discriminate, can catch up with you anytime. I went to rehab when I was 41, and I was in the same rehab with a 16-year-old boy. No. So that's why I've written this book. I also founded a Sober Again outreach program. Where we go to communities, we go to churches, we go to the workplace. I also give talks in the workplace. I've done quite a number. And people will call and say, Ann, if it wasn't for you, I don't know where I would be. Yeah, so many institutions are calling me, come. And, there's a place I went. That reminds me, there's a company that invited me. And I said I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I'll do a few slides, PowerPoint presentation. They said, no, you tell us your story first, and then we go to the slides. So after I talked about my story and where I'm at and, all that, and I talked about the stages of addiction, they said, don't even try to switch out on that. On that, what do you call it, projector. That is enough. In fact, they asked the HR, why have you been calling other people who come and just run slides here? Can you call this lady again? Because we want to hear that story very well so that we can know where we are at Because you've called her because we have a drinking problem. You have not called Ann Mathu here because we are very good and sober. No, it's because you have identified some of us who need help. And through her story, we can see ourselves in her story. So we need her to come. When? Next week. 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I was back. Now they wanted to ask questions. They wanted some clarifications on a few topics. And I went back. And believe you me, with the following week, 2 people already had gone to HR to say they want time out to go to rehab. And they went to rehab and went back. They were not sacked because they have an ADA, we call it Alcohol and Drug Abuse Workplace Policy. Something that the HR did not have, but now they do. Yeah. So you don't sack people, give them time to go out to treatment, and then come back to work. Yes, because most of them are the best workers that you can have. The most intelligent employees that you have within the institution. Don't chase them away. Actually, it's stipulated in the Alcoholic Drinks Control Act as a Amendment Act 2012 as a disease. So ukicheza na mtu umfute kazi ya kupeleka kotini and they go with the act, then it's good to give them time to go to treatment facility. Either some companies are paying for their people. They give you a chance. I know some companies that are giving a person even 2 or 3 chances to rehab because it is a relapsing disease. The moment you take a person to rehab, don't say ati okay fine, where has he relapsed? Hatuwezi kumrudisha. Mtu akiwa na kansa akikuja nyumbani, mnarudishaga yeye hospitali. Kama mnarudishaga yeye hospitali, hata pia mlevi mrudisha hospitali. Like now in a family, when we see a mlevi popping up, we do harambee. Unaweka kwa group ya family, the Mathu family. Na kila mtu anatoa ile kitu wako nayo. Tunapeleka huyo rehab because it's in the family. The larger Mathu family of Muranga. Iko. Yeah. We come together and say, when some of us in the family have rehabs, treatment facilities, anamchukua na sisi tunarusha kitu. Kama ni huyu anasema mimi nafanya shopping, mimi nalipa mwezi wa kwanza, mimi nafanya nini, akitoka mimi namtafutia kazi, and life continues. The way you come together because of a cancer patient, come together because of this alcoholic. Mwenye anaiba simu kwenu, hata iba tena. This nation of ours, this beautiful, beautiful nation, has the best policies in regards to alcohol and drug abuse. South of Sahara, north of Limpopo, we have the best. The biggest problem, implementation. We have the best. You find people coming from other countries to come and even see how we came up with that act. To see how we came up with the alcohol and drug abuse workplace policy. To see how we came up with the national alcohol and drug abuse policy. To see how we came up with the standards of treatment facilities. They'll come from other countries to learn from us. But we have a big challenge. And our biggest challenge is not that we have the goodwill of the executive, but the biggest problem we're having is now devolution. When devolution came, you see, like now before, the licensing used to be done by the national office, but now it's gone down to the counties. So the money for licensing is actually supposed to go to treatment, rehabilitation, psychosocial support to those people who have an alcohol problem. Especially that's very well stipulated in the Alcoholic Drinks Control Act. But we have now the counties using that platform as a revenue collection platform to do roads, to do whatever. And not many counties have come up with treatment facilities apart from Bomet. We have Kwale, we have Nyandarua has one of the best acts, county Alcoholic Drinks Control Act. They were among the first to come up with their own act. But anyway, the national act supersedes all the rest. But counties are not very keen. I had one governor saying he can't put up a rehabilitation center in his county because it's very expensive. Yet he's everywhere talking about how much revenue he's collected above every other county. But a rehabilitation center is too expensive for him to put up and run. Yet that county has the most bars. And the revenue collected from the bars, I don't know what they do with them. That's one country, even up till today, we can't say, they cannot show where their county Alcoholic Drinks and Control Act is. Whether it's in the county assembly, whether it's still going, I don't know. So when you have such a person, what do? We have so many people who are dying. In my village, we are burying nearly every week. We have a WhatsApp group of our village. Na ukiuliza ni nini ili happen, mtu alikufa, alikunywa akakufa. The following day he was found on the roadside. Wengine alipigwa na gari usiku, hit and run, akitoka kwa bar. Mwingine alilala hakuamka. But there are some people who will not. I told you denial is at many levels, even the county level. I said the individual, the family, the community, the county, and the national level. Because the people will question all this, my coming here, and why going public. It's not my family members. My family members are acutely aware of what I'm doing. And that's why I said I'm not ashamed of what I'm doing. Because if my family has given me the right, who else can stop me? This is my story, and I don't think I own it with anybody else. It is my story. It's not co-owned, and I'll forever keep on saying what I'm saying.